This is a really unique gun, guys. No lie. I mean, there's not many weapons that I've come across. I mean, one, it's not a reskin. But if I had to say what gun it kind of looks close to, not really necessarily, but just the way the end of the barrel looks, kind of got a stern look to it. But it's a unique one. It is worthy to be called a Nightfall exclusive reward, and I am really happy that I have not received it. When am I ever gonna get this gun, Bungie? 20 fucking Nightfalls. I've done solos, I've done prestige, I've done normals, I've done everything that I've walked backwards through an entire Nightfall hoping this bitch would drop, and it just ain't happening, man. Turns out, guys, it's just absolutely RNG, and the only way you're gonna be able to get it is by doing the Nightfall for this week over and over and over again, or you just got great fucking luck. Alright, rant over. Thank you to Elser for letting me use his account all night last night and playing with this weapon, DFA. Guys, I don't know what DFA stands for. A lot of speculation there. It is an acronym of some sort. We kind of arrived at don't fucking ask. So that is the direction that we're going with this hand cannon. And let me tell you, fellas, it is nasty. Now let's talk about Crucible, because that's primarily where we live. So Crucible, the weapon loadout that was working out for me the most, that bottom barrel perk, guys, extends that range the most. The only problem with that is you will be hurting your stability a little bit. You'll be hurting your handling, though, pretty good bit there, guys, and that does play a little bit of role if you like to go in and out of your sights a bunch. You know, some people level out with their aiming entirely and they just stay within their ADS. If you rock a low sensitivity coming in and out of your sights, it's something that will aid you a little more in terms of snagging those shots again and again and again. So for me, polygonal rifling, which is the middle perk, which is not great for your range, but the gun already has by default like a shit ton of range, so it's already pretty solid. It also comes with Aztecross rounds, which I highly suggest to go with. This is going to maintain that damage fall off at crazy ranges. The biggest problem I see with hand cannons in this game, and I think they're good now, but I think that the biggest problem for the longest time was that they had such significant damage fall off, and they were also a precision type weapon or a skill type weapon, and so the fact that you would be firing from areas where your damage fall off would be 10, 15, 20%, and a Uriel skiff would only be like 2-3%, you know what I mean? And so that was the biggest problem. Now Aztecross rounds really aids that. There's a lot of times that I was hitting shots, I was going, damn, I'm still hitting 55, 60, holy shit. And so that was something that was really good about it. It also comes with open round or open shot. Now opening shot is good for snagging, again, that immediate shot, you know, and this is kind of like the inaccuracy between you holding the gun at your hip and then going into your ADS, and so it's got a little bit more leeway in that ADS, or from that hip to ADS accuracy. Now there is another perk underneath it called Rampage, which I was trying so hard last night to proc and Crucible. I don't know if I just couldn't find enough people to just stand there and let me kill them, but I just couldn't get it going, man. Like, I got one stack, but I couldn't even like analyze how much damage I got from that one stack. Overall, Rampage on a non-shot gun or non-magazine weapon is difficult to take advantage of. So realistically, 2 crits, 2 body shots will get you Rampage. You know, you're in a 1 with someone, you land the 4 shots. Now you've got 5 left. Now this is a masterwork version of the weapon, so I actually have 10. So best case scenario, you've got 6 shots left. All right, well, let's turn around with Rampage and let's eat up the next person, okay? We eat him up maybe within probably 4 shots. I mean, I'm just being honest with you guys, probably 4 more shots. So you've got maybe at best 2 stacks of Rampage to go in on somebody. I just don't find Rampage to be good for hand cannon, because hand cannon is such a peak oriented weapon, and on top of that, with it being a 140 round per minute hand cannon, especially if there's somebody in front of you with like a vigilance wing or something, that anti-oak, anything, you're gonna have to be doing some crazy shit to outplay them, and a lot of times you're gonna be low health and you can't even push on someone anyways. The argument I'm trying to make here, guys, there's a good chance Rampage will not aid you as much as you would want it to aid you in Crucible. Great PvE perk, and I am all there for it, but for PvP, open shot is going to be where you want to stay at, because it's all about just being accurate. Now, stat-wise, fellas, when you look at the middle barrel perk in combination Aztecross rounds and open shot, you're looking at a stability of 72 and a range of 60. Fellas, that is fucking nasty. aka you're gonna hit your damn shots. Now again, there is that bottom barrel perk that you can roll with, and that will throw that range up to 68, but then it lowers that stability down to 59. Now I'm not saying you need stability on any hand cannon. Stability is more like the same thing, the argument that we came to in D1, you know? Do you prefer IS Luna over Pally? You know, Palindrome had a little less stability than a God Roll Luna. And so, I mean, that was the pros and cons of the two, which some people said IS Luna with that little extra more stability, of course the recoil direction too. It had an easier time of snagging the next consecutive shot because it didn't obscure your view. So with this gun, I really didn't feel it was that big of a difference. But you know, in those situations where it just comes down to little bitty numbers, I think I would rather take the stability bump and the less range, even though again it's only 8 range, it's not that big, but I'd rather take the extra handling and stability over that buff to my range. Overall, fellas, the gun is solid, man. I mean, it really is. I think the only downside of this weapon is because I'm a huge fan of 150s, man. I love 150s. So the only downside for me, at least, guys, is I wish this could have been a 150. But 140s is some of the best hand cannons in Crucible for a lot of your good PvP players out there. They know how to play with their hand cannons, man. They know how to peek with them. They know how to consecutively land shots with them, and thus they win the gunfight. So this is a hand cannon, I think, that will handle your ones extremely well. It'll go a long way for you. As far as PvE goes, I think it can be pretty nasty, but there's better devils, and I still prefer explosive rounds, guys. But I mean, you know, you do have Rampage, so there is some things you could take advantage of. If anything, in PvE, I think I would still rock like that magazine perk if you're going to consistently rock Rampage, and then rock out a bunch of stuff for like kinetic reload mods. It already has pretty decent reload, but you know, rock out a bunch of kinetic reload mods to get that reload as quick as you can, to keep eating them up. Guys, get your hands on it. It is a gun worth grinding for. I will be continuing to grind for this weapon today. I'm probably going to give up about 4 or 5 this afternoon because, well, it just sucks, man. Guys, thank you so much for coming and watching this video, and I'll catch y'all later.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
So let's get closer.